There are several ways to turn your slideshow into a movie. Spark Video, while it has some fancy features like music, sometimes doesn't let you join if you're not 13. iMovie has the most fancy features, but it can be a little tricky to use. And then screen recording is the easiest, but there's no extra fancy features involved. So figure out what works for you and give it a try. To be able to make a video the first two ways, you need to have quality screenshots. So you want to select present, the triangle in the upper right, then present on this device. And once it loads into full screen, which may take a while depending how many photos you have, you want to press and hold the power and the home button at the same time for each slide. This will give you a full, clean screenshot that you won't need to crop, and it'll work a lot better this way. Let's start with Adobe Spark videos. Alright, I took my screenshots and I'm gonna make a video. So I'm gonna hit the plus sign, start with photos, recents because I just took them. Whatever order I click them in, click them in, that's the order they'll appear. Now the order is very easy to switch if we don't like that order. Thinking about it, go to editor. Each of these photos is here for 2 seconds, or as long as I narrate, so I can narrate this first one. My research is on sunflowers, scientific name Helianthus annis. Then you can listen to it, see if you like it. Keep editing, I don't care about cloud sync. My research is on sunflowers, scientific name Helianthus annis. Okay. Now one of the things it sometimes does is it zooms in and out, but we'll see if it does that later. Sunflowers were first domesticated between 2300 and 2100 BCE in Central America, and in the 16th century they were brought to Europe. Extensive breeding has happened in Russia and Canada. So you can see that if I didn't like that take, I could just hold it down and re-record it. So let's see. Sunflowers were first domesticated between 2300 and 20. It sounds good. I'll keep going. Sunflowers can be eaten directly and used as a cooking oil, which is why they're grown in Russia. The seeds can be fed to birds, and they're often planted as ornamentals just to be pretty. There are over 50 species in the genus Helianthus. They're grown for food or ornamental reasons. Sunflowers need full sun and well-drained soil. They do tolerate drought really well, but they don't enjoy slugs or snails that can eat the plants. The Ukraine is the world's leading grower of sunflowers with 11 million tons of sunflower seeds grown a year. These are mostly crushed for sunflower oil. Each flower can produce between 1,000 and 2,000 seeds. Well, it's a little dubious. The record sunflower was about 40 feet tall in 1597. A more recent plant with better evidence was about 30 feet tall, which is what this YouTube video represents. Sunflowers are heliotropic, which means they face the sun and follow it throughout the day. Then at nighttime, they reset towards the east. Now we don't need to read our sources slide. That would be silly. So we could just give it a little bit of time so it can be looked at. So I'm going to stretch that up to 5 seconds. This credits slide, I'm going to hide that. We can't get rid of the end screen, but what we can do is play with the music a little bit. And so, what do I like? bringing change. What does it sound like? Seems very quiet. I can make it louder compared to my voice. And then we can go see how the whole thing sounds by pressing the play button at the bottom. My research is on sunflowers, scientific name Helianthus annuus. Okay. Sunflowers were first domesticated between... That sounds okay. If we don't want music, you can always get rid of music, but let's see. Oh, that's weird. I really like this one. I'm going to use this one. Alright, so now I've got the music I want. I'm going to save it to my camera roll. Saving it to my camera roll allows me to then upload the video to Flipgrid. And I'll show you that later. You do have to wait until it's done. This is very exciting. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. There we go. It's in my camera roll. So if I go to my camera roll and I look at my videos, there it is, just waiting for me. 1:43. So I gave you a 5-minute timeline. You don't need that much, so I'm just going to pause that while it's playing. But yeah, I mean, if I unmute it. Sunflowers were first domesticated between 2300 and 2100 BCE in Central America. Easy peasy. You can take your same screenshots we used for Adobe Spark Video and create an iMovie. iMovie is a bit clunkier, not as intuitive, but the special effects and fancy features you can do are better, and that's where I'm actually creating this video, is in iMovie, because I have more control. It's not easy, but it can be better. And create a project there. It's very similar. You go into iMovie and you grab your photos. The order you click them in will be the order they show up in. But what's harder here, so I'm going to hit Create Movie. What's harder here is they all come in at like 6 seconds. And if you want to record audio, you've got to adjust the audio for each one. So I'm going to record... My research is on sunflowers, scientific name Helianthus annuus. Then I accept the recording, and you can see the recording down at the bottom, and I drop this down to a similar size. And so for each picture, you've got to adjust how long the picture's around. So let's see, I wanted to record on this slide. Oh, and there's an annoying thing pictures do. We have to disable Ken Burns, this thing that scrolls through the pictures so that they can't be seen completely. That's really annoying. And second thought, don't use iMovie annuus. Here we go. Sunflowers were first domesticated between 2300 and 2100 BCE in Central America. In the 16th century, they were brought to Europe, and extensive breeding took place in Russia and Canada. And you would have to go through and do that for each slide. That works. My research is on sunflowers, scientific name Helianthus annuus. This works if you haven't... Yeah. Sunflowers, if you can't get into Adobe Spark, 2300 and 2100 BCE in Central America. But if you watch on the next slide, you'll see what that Ken Burns special effect does. It's really annoying. Breeding took place. It zooms in on parts Russia of the picture and Canada, and then scrolls across. Look at it; it's moving, and you can't see the whole thing. It's really dumb. So what you do to get rid of it is you click the picture and disable Ken Burns, and then you have to reposition the picture. Things you can do: you can change the special effect in between slides. You can do that. I recommend doing the same special effect throughout. And then when you're done, the process is similar. You click done. You can name the movie if you want. And it won't really let you upload the video. Oh, it will. It let me export the movie. I'm saving it. Same as before, this may take a while. And either way, your video will get on your iPad and you can get it from your photo library. The screen recording works. If you swipe down from the upper right-hand corner, you can see the same button that I have here, the blinking red button to let you screen record. If you don't see that button, go to your Settings, Control Center, and Screen Recording, and hit the plus sign next to the screen recording button so that it'll be there in your Control Center when you need to record. It's important when you swipe down to hold on to the screen recording button. Make sure that you select Photos so you know where your recordings are going to go, and that you also turn on the microphone button so that it does also record your audio and you don't just have a big silent video. You might be asking yourself, well, this was really confusing. Which one do I do? I recommend Adobe Spark or screen recording. iMovie is awesome, and if you get used to that kind of thing, you can do fancy things like this. I can't even begin to know how she did that. She's amazing. And experimenting with apps is how you can be amazing too. So try some things out and email me if you have questions.